Hi, I'm here today with singer, songwriter, and performer Andy Frasco of Andy Frasco and the UN, as well as the host of Andy Frasco's World Saving Podcast. Andy, thanks so much for speaking with me today.
Thanks
For
for
having
having
me,
me,
man.
man.
This
This
is
is great.
great.
Oh, so I've been looking forward to this. I first saw you live back in 2021 and was just blown away by your performance. Like you and the band were just, it was controlled chaos. It was just so cathartic and joyous. So it was wonderful seeing you there, and I've been a fan of your music for a few years now. And I got a chance to listen to your new album, La Optimist, that's coming out this August 11th, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to get started there and kind of meld this conversation with what you do on your podcast, really talking about mental health. And I know it's Mental Health Awareness Month. So, really want to see if we can intertwine these two things. So, my first question is just listening to your new album, and I'm wondering how has you been on this journey for 5 years working on yourself, kind of helping yourself kind of find who you are, find happiness, work on issues of substance abuse. How has that changed your approach to songwriting as for this new album and both the types of songs you write and this kind of sound you're going for?
I think you got to really live right. And I was going through a, you know, serious depression for, I mean, being living in a coffee can for 15 years kind of screws with your brain a little bit. And I was like, I hit a point in my career. I was like, I don't want to talk about partying as much anymore. I don't want to talk about, you know, drug use or, my lack of intimacy problems, and I want to talk about kind of what's going on in my head and how I could figure out how to fight these demons that call anxiety, call depression. And I, instead of like, being, I'm trying to change the stigma of just like only having to talk about it with your therapist. I think it's important to open the conversation up to show people that they're not alone in this fight. Even the happiest people, Mr. Happy himself is going through depression and anxiety and trying to figure out who he is as well. So I really wanted to focus. I wanted to, change. I wanted to, grow as a songwriter, but I also wanted to, build a voice in the community to help fight the stigma for mental health.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely hear in some of your songs, like some of the new ones, like "Love All of Me" and "Busted." You're really seeming to reckon with both your past and kind of find acceptance for who you are. Do you think you could have written those songs, 5 years ago?
Um, Probably not, because I was insecure about who I was. I was insecure. I'd put this mask on, like I was supposed to be Mr. Happy, and I was supposed to be everything's good, everything's great, roses, happy, chocolates, butterflies. And life isn't like that. And I think I really had to like throw myself into I had to see rock bottom to see that I can survive this stuff and that I am stronger than I think I am in my head. We are very insecure about, we're so strong with everyone else, other relationships in our life, that we're not really strong with our own relationship. So I kind of wanted to show myself that I deserve the love too, not to give out love. We all just give out love and love and love. That I wanted to, pat myself on the back too and say that I'm worthy of love as well. So that's why those,
Yeah.
being optimistic about finding love. That's what this record was about. It was my first
Mhm.
relationship I ever had, and I learned a lot about myself, my selfishness, and all that stuff that kind of, you know, deteriorated. But it taught me how to grow as a person and showing what I need to do to get. We're always gonna learn. When we stop
Yeah.
learning, I think we start dying. So I
Mhm.
always want to learn about myself.
And has it helped you with your like interactions and camaraderie with your own bandmates with the UN?
Oh yeah, we used to not talk. We used to just get drunk. We used to only talk when we were wasted, and now we're like talking about how hard this life is, and and how like the growing pains of getting successful is, and how much more pressure there is to execute and execute, and a lot of people can't really understand that if unless you're in that situation. And to know that I have my band's back and they have mine, it's a beautiful thing.
Now, one thing that I listened to your interview with Craig Finn, and he mentioned about like the bleak kind of dark comedy of The Hangover and the night morning after. And I wonder, was that a similar experience to you with your creativity? Did you find, something in those moments that inspired you? And has it been hard or easy to leave that kind of behind?
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel I write my best songs when I'm sad and hungover the next day. I I don't like I don't really like taking too many substances during the morning. I don't really smoke weed. I only drink coffee in the morning. So I'm stuck with my thoughts, I can't suppress them with like Xanax, and I'm just not never been that type of guy. And for some people they need it. I just felt like I didn't need it. And the way I got through that outlet was creating, either making podcasts or making songs. Like the biggest song I have, Dancing Around My Grave, was written off of a 5-day bender, waking up in a city in Charleston, South Carolina on the beach, wondering what the fuck happened last night. So, and like I can't live like this forever, I'm
Yeah.
deteriorating my body. So I think we find the answers when we're sad. We just, we can't get in that epic circle of it's like that creative circle. Like I only write songs when I'm sad, or I'm only write songs when I'm, hungover. I write my best songs out there, but I don't want to make that a trait.
Yeah. And something else I noticed about your records, you're also looking kind of outward at more kind of social issues, like on the new single "You Do You," talking about gay rights, trans rights, and really coming to support them, which I think is amazing and definitely
Thanks,
needed
man.
right now. Though there's one line, and this is maybe the more one confrontational thing I wanted to bring up, where you discuss, if you've had a bad day, you want to have a drink, go get drunk. And I wonder if for that one line, coming from your background of knowing kind of substance abuse, and if you're seeing someone who is possibly harming themselves and using substance to cope with their own negative emotions, I'm wondering, is that a time to let you do you, or do you intervene? Is there a place for the you do you mentality to kind of step back and have its limits?
Like that's funny you said that, because the second line is, or if you just want to lay around and have
Yeah.
a good time. So it's like we can't really tell people what to do with their lives.
Mhm.
It's kind of selfish to say that, but if that's how you release and you have a drink and you don't over abuse it, go have a drink. If you want to just lay around and not go to work, go to work. Don't go to work. I mean, that was mostly what I was trying to talk about. Is, yeah, I know that some people have to deal with substance abuse, and maybe instead of drinking, go take a nap or
Yeah.
go run. It's hard to rhyme go to the gym with go to the gym. And so I
Oh,
was
I
like,
remember my college days of being, hungover in the morning, still trying to get that gym workout in or that run in.
the sweat is real. I mean, you got to like figure out ways that work for your body. It's like the same thing. Like some people, antidepressants don't work on some people, and some people need them. It's like you got to figure out the right balance for your body and for your brain to, be who you need to be. So that was mostly the theme of You Do You. It's like, and it's also with, if you want to consider yourself in a different gender or general neutral, why the fuck not? I mean, why are we telling people how to live their lives, over how you feel you should live your life?
So another one thing I found in the new record is a lot of gratitude in it, like a feeling, like kind of gratitude of finding yourself here where you are right now. And I guess when you're approaching a subject like that, do you all worry when you're kind of writing the lyrics that, oh, this is going to sound cheesy, or maybe like, no, someone may not relate to this as much? Like, how do you express your own gratitude in a way that's going to really connect with other people?
That's the hardest part, because being happy is cheesy as fuck. Everyone
Mhm.
wants to hear you being sad, but like my job as a optimistic songwriter is figure out ways to make people feel good without cringing about the butterflies in the room. So I still sometimes I re-listen to some of these tunes of my optimistic, happier tunes, and I kind of like, ooh, that was a little. I don't. It's a little cheesy for me, and
Mhm.
so I'm learning how to grow into. I'm learning how to grow into talking about optimism. And one thing I learned about is I like talking about darker stuff in an optimistic, uplifting feel. Because sadness is part of life, and
Yeah.
if I could show that there's optimism through sadness because you're learning about yourself. That's my goal as a songwriter too.
Is there one of your songs that has actually worked in even cheering you up when you're in your kind of dark places? Like, oh yeah, like things aren't so bad.
Keep on keeping on every night. It's hard
Mhm.
for me to rev the engine. I drive the van. I drive 8 hours a day with my tour manager Bo, and sometimes we get to the venue at 6 and we play at 8, and I'm just I'm working 3 jobs with if I'm editing podcasts
Mhm.
or interviewing people or doing the budgets or driving the van. I do a lot of it, so it's hard to turn on, and I
Yeah.
always keep on keeping on. It's like because the music industry isn't a 9 to 5; it's a 24/7. So you, it doesn't turn off. So songs like "Keep On Keeping On" when I'm just you know week 4 of tour and I've done 26 shows in 28 days, 24 shows in 28 days. I get beat up, but I that song always for some reason it pumps me up. That and "Dancing Around My Grave" because
Mhm.
I those lyrics mean a lot to me. You never know when you're gonna die. Especially with my lifestyle. Who knows when I'm gonna kick? So
Hopefully
I
not soon.
no, I'm staying healthier than I
Yeah.
used to be, but you never know. That's a beauty about
Yeah.
life is the mystery of it. So um those songs kind of cheer me up and saying, enjoy this moment. You're a musician. Only 1% of the people get to play for fucking 5,000 people a night, some nights. And, you got to, it's so easy to just marinate in your own shit. But if we take a step back and realize how beautiful what we're doing is, it cheers me up. And songs like Keep On Keeping On and Dancing Around My Grave definitely do that for me.
Kind of you're going into talking about touring, and I know that's hearing from many artists these days that it's become an extremely stressful endeavor. I mean, it's always been tiring, but now that some people aren't even able to make a living touring anymore, like I know you mentioned in one of your podcasts about Animal Collective canceling their European tour because they couldn't make money. And I'm
Right.
wondering, like, just not only as a musician, but as a music fan, like, do you feel that kind of general anxiety? Like, oh man, some of my favorite bands may not be able to keep doing this because of how the industry is. And do you get a sense from talking to other artists, like, that they're all sharing the sort of same fear and, general malaise about it?
Yeah, all the time. It's like doomsday in the music industry right now. It's kind of scary because a lot of bands, like, if you didn't really, the COVID kind of fucked a lot of bands. Like, if you didn't really do a lot of things in COVID and kind of kept your fan base going, you're basically starting over. Or I feel bad for the bands who are we're starting to get a push, and then COVID hit, and then all their shows got canceled, and then they're new bands and basically starting over again. There's no movement. And then worsely is all the music festivals are canceling. That's the scary part. Like those are the big money makers for most of these bands. And if we can't survive, what are we going to do for the summertime? And those pay for those Europe tours where you're losing your ass on, or maybe you have to open and support a bigger band and you have to take a pay cut, but you're playing a bigger crowds.
Mhm.
Those festivals pay for all those minor expenses. So it's very scary out there right now, but you just gotta. But I think that's anything right now. I think we're in a recession in our country, and we just have to. What are we gonna do? We're just gonna fold over. We're gonna keep fighting, and make sure that we get the music out there because music is is important to people's health, people's well being, and if we gotta like all stick together and make our own festival, like Animal Collective is one of my favorite bands. To know that they're broke, and they're like a popping band, I'm like, what's going on? So we all just got to have each other's backs. It's kind of cannibalism right now because everyone needs a tour. So there's like 5 shows in each town on a Tuesday, and there's just not enough market. So we have to start a union. We gotta be like blue collar. We gotta be like blue collar men. Just start a union, a
I know
band
there. I mean, there's definitely a.
alliance.
I've seen like a musicians alliance, and they've been trying to fight for increase in streaming wages for artists. Though I know that's hard because a lot of the streamers are tied up in label deals, and it's the labels who are sort
Right.
of controlling that. So I'm wondering, like, when you are dealing with labels and whatnot, and dealing with the business side of how do you approach it in a way that it's fair for both sides, that you're trying to look out for yourself and your bandmates but also realizing like this the economic realities of how things are right now.
I think distribution, like what does a record label do these days? Nothing. I mean, no one's buying records, so why are you taking the advance right now? Because you're not going to get any royalties off it. So why don't you just do a distribution deal, be a partner with these guys, and see what they're worth? And you got to work hard too. And then at least you're not like, all right, I get a $50,000 advance from this label. I blow it all. Everyone gets 10 grand. The band gets 10 grand. Then what? We don't get paid for a year off the royalties. Like, let's just be partners from day one and have a distribution deals. I've been on like 5 labels. I've been dropped for, we're finally, we've been dropped a bunch, because my music is more of a live band feel. But now that we're trying to write songs and, we're finally recouping off all these 4 record labels that dropped us, we're finally seeing royalties, but it took 5 years to get royalties. It's wild, especially with the Spotify rates. It's just crazy. You like what is it? I think like every million streams is like $800 or $1,000 or
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it also depends on your record label deal because,
right.
some do 50-50, some, take a bigger percentage, it depends where you're at. And also with Spotify's like the way they proportion it out,
Yeah, and if you do Discover Weekly, they take 30% less.
Yeah.
So to use their promo, their algorithm, they're charging a 30% overhead too, not including your manager taking 15%, not including the record deal taking 15 or taking 40% or 50 or 60%. So it's hard to make money in the streaming business. And, and I understand why, like talking about the writers strike, these writers that are doing all these like Netflix shows are bitching that they're not getting any royalties, which I agree on. Like, we're all partners in this, from the guy who created this to the guy marketing. I think we need to have that idea instead of being so greedy just because record labels aren't making as much money anymore.
Yeah. No, I mean, have a lot of friends who are out there striking. I'm hoping one day to be a member of that union, working towards it, but
go get them. Let's go.
I'm working on it. I've often thought about the comparison between screenwriters and musicians because you're all both putting work out there. And I mean, unfortunately, screenwriters don't even have like a streaming service to like put stuff and at least get minor residuals. They're working and they always have to do a second job just to, make an ends meet until you're one of those big time working writers. And the rest of the time, you're just
it's insane.
on your side.
Think about like series, like a 12-hour show.
Yeah.
There's like 10 writers on that show. And they're just getting salary. They're not a lot of these, unless you're, like you said, unless you're big time, you're bigger up in the food chain, you're not getting the Netflix dough. You're getting your salary of, whatever it is, your union salary. And that's kind of bullshit. I mean, we need to there needs to be a different way we do this. It's kind of, and then, it's the same example as fucking dynamic ticketing bullshit with Ticketmaster and all that stuff. Like, we're
all
not
hail, seeing the Cure tomorrow. All hail Robert Smith.
Exactly. Like, we're not seeing that dynamic money dough. That's all, and all the VIP money that's coming to these venues are taking and stuff, and like, Live Nation. It's just, I work with Live Nation. I work with AEG. They're great partners, but it's like there's this dynamic. It's so new that we need to start figuring this out, because if ticket companies are charging triple the amount of the ticket sales before it's even sold out, we should get part of that dough.
Agreed.
So
another
fuck
issue
them.
is the venues who are taking percentage of merch money from.
Yeah, I don't understand that. He's like 20%. Like, okay, cool, you're taking 20% of merch. I want 20% alcohol, because I sell a lot of alcohol. If you want to be real partners and be OG partners like that, and be like, you want to go communism on this shit, then I'm taking some of the alcohol too.
Damn right.
We're gonna fight the man, okay? The man's going down, Bo.
Good, as they should. The man's had it too good for too long.
I just want what's fair. That's all. Yeah. We work our ass off just as much as they do. Let's all be partners in a nice way. None of this 60%. 70% because you're playing a bigger room. Like, let's be partners in a right way. Like, what do promoters actually do besides put out a couple ads? We're promoting it too. So shouldn't we be part of the business deal too?
Well, yes. Have you
Let's
talked to
fight the
like
man.
other artists about like forming a coalition to, directly, and like as you said, a union to address both like the venues separately, to address the Ticketmaster? I mean, I know certain bands like Eddie Vedder and Robert Smith have, gone after Ticketmaster one on one, but as a collective, it seems like it might have a greater chance of surviving.
Right.
I
Because
think.
like Joe Schmo from Dubuque, Iowa, and their band, if they start talking shit, like I'm afraid, like if I talk too much, they just won't give me shows. They can just
Yeah.
cut you off like that. And that's the scary part of the industry. So you kind of have to play ball, but also we need to like stick up for ourselves that some of these deals that they're giving us are not fair deals. And we need
No.
to stick up because we do the business, They need us just as much as we need them. So we need to start acting like that. And we need to start being fair with this shit because like you're going to see a lot more bands start quitting because they can't afford to go out on tour.
Hmm. Yeah.
It sucks. It's sad. It's a greedy market, and we need to figure out how to be better business partners.
Agreed. So I know you only have a little bit of time left. So I first want to, you've mentioned in that Kobe Bryant, late great Kobe Bryant, is one of your heroes, and you talked about how his ability to, adapt to any problem he was facing, whether it's, changing the hand he was focusing on or the leg, whatnot, helped him achieve greatness in basketball. And I'm wondering, what have you learned from Kobe that you've applied in your own life as a touring musician?
Man, you are hot take questions. I love this. This is the goat. Bo, you go. I think Kobe taught me work ethic and taught me how to, if you know, problem solve right as a general. I run this band. You know, I'm a band leader. I conduct the band. I do all these improvs with the band. And what it taught me was there's going to be tribulation, trial and tribulation every day at these shows. Maybe your guitar player isn't there at the moment, or maybe his pedal board's fucked up, or maybe it's raining, or maybe like you see this kid in the audience. Like it that's what I love about basketball. It's that improv, but with this steady motion of a band. I think basketball is the closest thing to a band because there is like a format and there are plays, but there's also room for improv. And
Mhm.
through the improv, I think that's what Kobe taught me was through structure is going to make the improv a lot easier. Because if you live your life through improv and just wait for shit to happen all the time, most times you're just waiting. You got to be prepared at every moment to, if you have to throw a curveball or if you have to, do a different show, do a different song. If you feel like the set list you made during the day before you got to the venue isn't working, you got to learn how to adapt and see what, read the audience and see what songs would work better. So I think Kobe taught me that.
Nice. And obviously you've talked with so many different artists and different types of people on your podcast. I'm wondering, is there one piece of advice one of them has given you that's also really stuck with you the last, few years and really kind of come to mind when you're going through tough times?
Um, yeah, I think like Mike Dillon's of the world, Vince Herman's of the world. It's like they just tell me to slow down. I don't need to do it. I have a problem where I say yes to everything, and I have 5 different businesses. I have the podcast, I have the band, I run an Airbnb, I run a van rental business. I have all these things that are at publishing, and I edit music videos and direct music videos. I think what they told me is it's not a race. We want I know you want to do everything all at once, all the time to keep suppress your thoughts, but sometimes free up your time so these thoughts can come out of your suppression and you
Mhm.
could actually fight these demons. Like we can work all we want, but we're just distracting ourselves. And if we really want to solve the problems, they're just going to wait around until they creep up on you. So you might as well just face your problems straight up. And that's what mushrooms taught me too when I was,
Mhm.
you know, eating mushrooms every day was it taught me like, listen, you're not gonna, you're worried about death. All right, let's talk about death. You worried about, not being good enough at your instrument. Okay, let's figure out how to get better. If we suppress, we're never gonna grow. So I think they just tell me to slow down so your thoughts can catch up.
Well, that's, I think, great advice to take, and I'm glad it seems to be working and hoping you're continuing on this kind of great journey and helping both other people along with yourself. So yeah, with the album coming out in August, what are the future plans for yourself and the band over the next few months leading up to it?
Oh man, we're on 14 festivals. It's festival season, baby. It's go time. So we're out every weekend, which is nice. Normally we tour like in a van and it's hot as shit. Now we just get to fly everywhere. I'm like, we're finally moving up. We're like now we're flying places and we got catering and they're putting us up in like these like RVs. Like we're really moving up now. And it feels like all the hard work is finally happening. But yeah, I'm releasing a new song every month. Like in June, I'm releasing Iowa Moon. July, I'm releasing Birthday Song. Then August is the record. So I am directing all these music videos and making all these music videos. So I'm working on that while during the weeks and stockpiling interviews. I just did Ken Jennings, from the host of Jeopardy, which was fucking awesome. And just
Nice.
getting just I'm just finally I'm writing a new record. I've already written 3 songs for the new album coming next year. So I'm in a groove right now, and the band's sounding killer. It's the best we've ever sounded. We're in a groove. We're ready to fuck shit up. So let's do it.
Nice. Well, I look forward to seeing you next time you're in LA. I sadly missed the most recent Troubadour show, which
I
I could
know
have
you're
been.
wearing the shirt too. I'm like, damn.
I know. It was a girlfriend's birthday weekend, so I had to
Oh, you
be.
gotta make love. You gotta give her that good sticking, dog.
I just had be there for the ones you love.
Amen,
But
bro.
I look forward to seeing you next on the road, and congratulations on the new album. It's great. Looking forward to
Thank
the
you,
world
sir.
hearing it, and have fun on festival season.
Bro, thank you so much for your time. And yeah, next time we're in LA, let's grab a beer.
I would love that, man. Take care.
Cheers, bro. Later, buddy.
Talk soon. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, bro.